damage and a good significant amount of damage. And now we're going on to game 3. Let's introduce our players here in the southeast position as the Red Terran. It is TSL Polt. And up here in the northwest, we got cross positions here on Entomb Valley. It is our Blue Zerg, TSL Symbol. Now they've split games. And I just want to ask you one question. You know, what would have happened if that initial attack wouldn't have done damage? You know, like, is that the only way Symbol's going to be able to pull out the win here? Like, that's a scary thought to think about.
Man, you're right. It's like the only way you can kill Polt is to get him when he is out of position on a big map where he has map control with his Zerglings burrowed. His creep spread was phenomenal in that last game.
It was a gut punch.
It was at the bottom
knocked the air out of him,
yeah.
You know, and then he was able to, but what happens if he misses that punch?
If he cannot get the punch off,
it.
Polt just goes through and just tears things apart. Polt's multitasking is so
insane.
So good. His splitting is amazing. Battles that should not be won. Like, he's like attacking up the ramp against Infestors, Zerglings, and Banelings and winning a battle. No one can do that except Polt, man. No one is doing that right now.
Yep. He's the guy I think that will make people quit StarCraft, man.
Yeah.
You know, they'll just be like, forget it. I'm done. I can't, you know, like, how am I supposed to kill all this stuff? But that's what's so amazing about these players. And you know, I mean, Polt, obviously a phenomenal Symbol, phenomenal here, but all of the players still remaining in the winner bracket. Like, they absolutely deserve to be there. I'm really impressed. And like I said before, I'm just honored to be able to sit here in the seat and watch this high-level StarCraft 2 play.
Yeah, I feel the same, man. We do see Hatch first going down for Symbol. And I'm thinking we're going to see Polt go for the one rack expand again. This has been kind of his style. I haven't seen him not do this build in ages. Drone will come in here and see. Does not deny. He's going to even make the command center in the drone's face. Drone going to harass a little bit here. Decides to turn around, of course, as soon as the Marine comes out. We've basically seen the same build from Polt. He's going to double gas, go Reactor Hellions. We saw in the first game he decided to go Cloak Banshees. In the second game, he decided to go for a faster third command center. What will be his choice here today on this final map, Entombed Valley? I don't think at cross positions we're going to see Banshee play. He's not going to do that. I think he's going to make a faster third command center, get siege tanks out a little bit faster. That was another thing.
I agree, yeah.
We didn't see siege mode for so long. It was a little bit tougher for him to use his pushes the way you wanted to.
He had just pretty much established his siege tank production right as he was dealing with that roach, you know, that whole roach infestation at his natural. So, you know, it's understandable that he missed siege mode there, but it definitely was very crucial in not being able to defend that third there. He still somehow did it, and there were a few battles in that last game where I'm just like, I cannot believe that Polt came out on top of that one, because you'd think that the way that the trade went, it would go the other way. But anyway, we'll stop gawking here a little bit as we take a look, and it does look like the factory's going to go down.
Yep.
Reactor going to be following here in just a moment, and Polt is going to just go ahead and place the bunker at the top. Third base very quickly for Symbol, so not going to be seeing any sort of early aggression 2-base early into a 3-base that we saw in some of the previous games, which of course means that this one's going to be another interesting one.
Yeah, it definitely will be. It's going to be a longer one for sure. This is a decent position for Symbol to be able to take this third hatchery. Yeah, he's going to want to kill the rocks, but it's not like he's at the left side of the map where Polt can just kind of run over, attack his third for free. And in fact, as far as I know, that's disabled on this map, but it's a good position to take the third. And there is, as predicted, Polt's fast third command center. Doing the switcheroo, going to get some Reactor Hellions out. Tech Lab will go down here. Again, I do not believe we will see a Starport. We're just going to see Stim, and then eventually Siege Tank production after Stim is done, just using that Tech Lab for multiple purposes. Meanwhile, we do see the gases going up for Symbol. The first two finished up now. He's going to start mining fairly soon. And we're just seeing passive play out both these players. Symbol's not putting on the Roach aggression. Polt's going to put on a little bit of Hellion aggression, but with the Queen buff, it's not going to do a whole lot. So this game is just going to go on for a while without anything really devastating happening here.
Yeah, now we are going to see Symbol move in with his Overlord as the first Hellions make their way out to the center of the map. He has denied that map vision. One other thing I really like about Symbol and what he's doing here is this one ling over north of that little back curvy path because a lot of times some players will send a lot of units up that way. If you have control of the Xel'Naga Tower, you just frankly don't see it.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a little alarm system that Zergling will chirp a little bit in an annoying way until he punches in the code and lets it know it's okay to stop. But, you know, I like that. Just a lot of little considerations. Again, it kind of goes into his whole burrowing for vision. But Polt right now with plenty of map control, he's going to get that third command center, which was spotted by that Overlord. Looks like the other one did get taken out as well. So, you know, one problem that Symbol's going to have is these rocks, and, you know, it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, the rocks, he's not touched them. That was one of his problems in Tall to Remalter. Didn't deal with the rocks, didn't take another expansion that was close and easier to take. Lair is finishing up for him here. He's going to probably start, he may start Roach Speed, in fact, but I don't know what his plan is 100% here. He may go into Spire again, but I hold that thought. Hellions are actually going to run into the natural. They're undefended here.
Oh,
this is
my
actually
gosh.
so lucky for Polt that he was able to catch these queens off guard like this, doing a lot of damage to the drone line. Oh,
yeah,
man,
he does
so
a ton.
much
Up
damage
to
being
14,
done. 15.
14, 16. He's going to be able to get a few more here. The Spinecrawler all finished up. 17, possibly more. No, 17 worker kills. That evens out the Harvester count right there, as we see a few more pump out here for Symbol. But that was a great decision.
That's a lot of larva spent and a lot of resources spent. This is something that a lot of people are like, well, if you kill that many drones, then he can just remake them instantly. But yeah, that means now he has no army, whereas Polt can just push out and put some pressure on very soon. This creep spread's starting to get a little bit out of control already for Symbol, though. And I'm wondering when he's going to take this fourth base. I think he's going to wait until the Infestors come out. Last game, he tried to use the Infestors to hold his base. The timing he used was actually just like, it was really smart, but Polt just hit him.
Yeah.
Like right before, got that base, killed it. But then lost all of his units. So we'll see exactly how the push varies this time. Will Polt go a little bit sooner? Will he kill the base, then get out without losing his units? There's a lot of different ways that the players can go about it this time.
This one Hellion in the middle of the map does not realize he's about to walk into his death, but he somehow gets away. Actually, again, I want to go back to these rocks. I feel like this is such a huge point. Like, even this Spinecrawler here, if you just have it auto-attack the destructible rocks, you're going to be in a better spot. These queens who are spreading creep, you know, earlier they were just sitting on the ramp. And I just, you know, you never want to see someone fall because they didn't get rocks down and it somehow affected them.
He doesn't have an army because he lost so many drones, he had to remake them. What does he have right now? 3 roaches and 1 Zergling. That's the 1 Zergling right there, by the way. That's it. That's all he has.
Oh, and this 1 Zergling's going to be in trouble, but he got the job done. He identified that someone came through the back. Unfortunately, it's not going to be any more. That fourth base did come down in conjunction with the Infestors, but it's still a timing that he's got to be careful about. He's going to definitely see it. It's not in danger right now. But as you mentioned, he kind of waited till they were going to pop so that he could get that up. But where are both players going right now? I mean, upgrades
Polt's
galore
playing a little bit
for
passively
Polt.
here, I feel. You know, after killing that many drones, your opponent's not going to have a lot of army out. Imagine if Polt was across the map with 29 Marines and 3 siege tanks, and then he was desperately trying to get the Zerglings out before his Infestors were out. He could have killed that base. I feel like he's playing a little bit passively here. Could have been doing a little bit more in the middle of the map. The worker count pretty much evened out here, 69 SCVs to 70 drones right now. The Marine count is starting to get higher and higher. He's adding 4 barracks right now, and that is going to put him out of control. And here is the trademark second and third factor that we've seen from Polt, so much so at this event. Not so much really in his play anytime before. I used to always joke he'll never make more than 2 factories, but at this event, he's been consistently making the 3 factories, adding the Thors in the mix.
Small group of units heading out here might be seen by this 1 Zergling. And do these Zerglings have burrow yet? Not quite yet. It's not in production. Not researching quite yet.
11 active creep tumors on the map for
It's so insane, this creep spread. I mean, they almost look like units peppered throughout the middle of the map when it's just creep tumors. Eventually, I think we're going to need the option to turn those off because it's hard to tell what is army and what is actually generating creep. But we do have Symbol moving forward, and having this huge basis of creep is going to help him out. But eventually, I would assume that Polt's going to go for a massive cleanup here.
Yeah, this is going to be a big move out for Polt, but his opponent has Hive Tech now. He does have 7 infestors as well. The fungals are going to be the most important part, but this time Polt is moving out with 5 siege tanks. He didn't forget siege mode. His upgrades are going to be 2-2 for his Marines. The upgrades for Symbol only at 1-1, but they're finishing up right about the same time. So,
tanks aren't sieged up. There's the fungals. He's going to get a surround on everything.
This is looking decent for Symbol. Polt not able to split his Marines like he normally can. But look at the supply, how even it is. Part of the problem is if you fight with Banelings, you lose Banelings, and that's a lot of resources spent.
But how many tanks did he take out there? What, 4?
Yeah. And
4
right
tanks.
Now the tank count down to 1. He's making 3 tanks at a time from his 3 facts. He's not started to mix in the Thor just yet because he's on 3 bases. He needs to build his tank count up first, and there's the 4th base going down for Polt. Something he has not been able to do consistently in these games is to take a 4th base, so that's what he's doing now. He's assemble again with his Ultralisk Cavern. Not going Broodlords all too much, just using the Ultralisk instead, those big beefy units. And when you have this much creep spread, why not?
I feel like there's actually a big key timing here that could come up from Symbol if he manages to get this base before
he kills
that
it.
Planetary goes and finishes
Polt's
up.
out of position.
He's way out of position right now. Oh my goodness, this could be really nasty. There's the fungal. No fungal. There it is. Going to get the Baneling hit on there. Might even be able to take out a ton of SCVs as well, and he doesn't push his luck here.
Yep, going to use some fungals
yes,
now
he
again.
does.
Polt overextending just a little bit here, losing his army. But Symbol losing a lot of Banelings. Notice how the Banelings are actually just not cost efficient because Polt can remake Marines so quickly. They're the bread and butter, the main unit in his composition, whereas Symbol is using Banelings so heavily. They're so gas intensive that if he throws the Banelings away, the thing is, like, 2 Banelings can kill 20 Marines, but he sends all Banelings in, so the other ones just disappear anyways.
I mean, that's a great point.
He's making too many Banelings, I feel, actually.
In fact, a true win in that situation is...
that sucks. Though the hatchery just was made in front of Marines, didn't get the cancel off.
And here he goes. He's going in yet again, but the siege tanks are there. He doesn't have as much infestor support in that particular battle.
And these Marines are still going strong in the north.
He needs some Banelings to get through there. Oh, nice fungal. He is going to lose this. Oh, that was actually a big loss. He's going to try to unload, get them out. It's a nice little victory there, but here comes the move. He's pushing through. He's getting rid of these creep tumors. Are the Ultras going to be out in time? We have 2.
He's losing a lot of tumors, but the tumors are there to buy him ground in the first place, so he's going to be feeling okay here. 34 Zerlings on the way. 3 upgrades for Polt are done, however, in front of Symbol. So if he actually engages here, this is terrible. A huge siege tank hit. Another one. This is really bad for Symbol. If Polt actually moves forward with good splits and with a 3-3 upgrade advantage he has over his opponent, I think he can crush Symbol's army.
Yeah, I'm really... Oh, here we go. Infested Terror come out here. He's going to throw a bunch out, and then he's going to go in for it. Here we get a huge surround with the Lings. We got the Infestors coming out. They're not really landing the fungals on the Marines. There he gets a big hit, but there's no Banelings.
And there are no Banelings. You're right. The Ultra is going down as well. Look at the supply.
Oh my
Polt
gosh.
taking a huge lead here. 50 Zerlings on the way, but Zerlings, if he had 100 Zerlings on the way, Polt would not care with this composition. He needs more support. He lost all of his infestors but 1, all of his Ultralists but 1. He has no more support for these Zerlings, and Polt is not going to care, and he is not stopping.
That split, man, it's insane. He's got coverage in the middle of the map. He's going to try to go for some sort of a counterattack here down at the 4th.
There's a planetary, though.
There is a planetary. He's going to go ahead and try to go for it anyway, but here comes Polt to save this. It's going to be a lot of resources going down. He has to back off. He gets the repair on it. Meanwhile, we see this base going down as well.
It's a double whammy, man. He loses a base, loses a lot of units trying to take out one of Polt's bases. And at this point, Polt's income is out of control. He has that base mining still. He's got the better army here. 117 army supply to 59. If he wins this next fight, I mean, he is going to be in a basically unlosable position. Banelings blowing up on siege tanks here. Symbol is not using his Banelings cost efficiently against Polt here.
And you know what? Just kind of as this breakdown happens, and as you know, you have a few rough engagements as you're getting hit from multiple locations. That is something that obviously can happen, and you know, it's unfortunate when, like you said, he needs that supply every little bit, and he cannot engage here. More Ultras on the way, and I don't know why the Zergs decided to turn on the Ultras this weekend. Like, just this weekend.
Where are the Broods, man?
Uh-oh.
Gonna try to use just a few units to target on the hatchery. The Queen is the only line of defense, and with that healing power, he doesn't even have to deal with the Queen. Completely ignoring it. Now these Banelings are coming in here, but they're rolling into siege tank fire. Almost. He actually does not quite get them into siege tank fire. I think this is a nice baiting tactic by Polt. look at how much damage he's able to do with the healing power of these medevacs.
It's amazing, and he actually does not know because he's lost vision of the middle. Well, let's see. Yeah, he does not see the siege tanks in the back, so he doesn't quite know where they're at.
Symbol gives up the base. He's pulled his drones out of there. And
one Marauder. I mean, obviously,
Marauder.
there's all this support down here, but he's like that cautious about attacking that base.
Yeah, he's just gonna let it go. He's pulled his drones. He's remaking the base of the north, but he's not. He's only long distance mining there. +3 on the way for Polt siege tanks. Double command snares, high sec auto tracking, building armor plating. He's so ahead here. He is pushing his advantages more and more, so safely, so meticulously. There's going to be a huge counterattack from Symbol, though.
This could be really interesting. He's now taking out the rocks, but he's going to go for this base. He's sending in the Ultras first. Well, he's trying to. Actually takes out one Marine, and there we go. He's going to go for it, but at the same time, we have the Terran army moving up to the top. If he gets in a position where he sieges up and he can hit the guys from both sides, it's going to be really bad, and we're going to have a base trade situation.
Trade, absolutely. Polt, I think, though, with the better army. His Ultras struggling to get up the ramp here. Banelings are blowing up. He's actually wasting Banelings now on SCVs, and yeah, you can actually kill SCVs with Banelings, that's cool, but you don't want to do that when there's no defense. You can just do it with Zerglings instead, and Polt starting to take a supply lead here. The army supplies 143 to 93 in Polt's favor. He's taking out the hatchery at the top right. I mean, we saw Symbol destroying those rocks at 22 minutes. That's something you talked about a lot in the beginning of the game, and it did end up mattering. He could not defend that base. He was not in a comfortable position ever. And now he's turning around, but it's going to be too late.
He's going to try to crush this with a nice flank, but again, this army is so far away. It's going to take out some reinforcing units, which is good. But, I mean, the damage has been done. All Symbol was able to do is take out that third, and he's going to have to go in for it. But there are so many siege tanks. The Hive now getting pelted as well. It looks like the infestation pit's going to go down. And here it comes from the back. All of the... Oh, my gosh.
Look at the pre-split from Polt, though.
Insane.
It was just too much. He's got the high ground advantage now. Symbol trying to break up into here, but he's losing too much, and that is going to be it. His production is dead. His economy is dead. Polt is going to take this series 2-1. Brilliant splitting, brilliant play, and Symbol, even though he did a great showing, he has to GG. Amazing, amazing play from Polt. A few things I want to touch on Symbol's play, making too many Ultralists, not destroying the rocks, and too many Banelings. It took me forever to realize. I was like, Polt splitting is just so good, but actually, I started watching engagements, and I was like, no, he has 22 Banelings. How many Banelings does it take to kill Polt's Marines? Like 4? But he rolls all the Banelings in and eventually they die. That's just gas wasted, gas wasted, gas wasted. And you have to send all of them in. You can't just send 4 in because then they'll die. But like, he wasn't spending his gas on what he needed to be spending.
Well, let's shoot on over to Total Biscuit. Another epic game, 24 minutes. It's getting to the third matchup, and certainly they gave us a show.
No question about that. Not really a hell of a lot to add, honestly, aside from the obsession with Ultralisks that suddenly...
Yeah. What is this?
I don't know, man. I really don't. They're being used quite well, but you continually see how clumsy the damn things are. You can see why they're thinking about adding something new in Heart of the Swarm to give them that extra mobility and that extra shock value, because they have a tendency of lumbering around, getting stuck on small units.
The passing seems to be a problem for them a little bit, you know. I feel like... going into Broodlords would have been a tough transition to make with an aggressive player like Polt. If you try to make that transition on a map like this where there's so much open space, it's just basically impossible to do. So I'm not really sure exactly what Symbol could have done better, but I feel like his engagements were not cost efficient enough. Like we saw Stefano yesterday, he didn't lose his Infestors. He never really overcommitted to Banelings. He used almost purely Zergling. Infestor he skipped out on the Banelings. That's a lot of gas wasted.
Yeah, and I mean, frankly, you know, with the Broodlords, especially with a player like Polt who's going to be able to split quite well, you know, you can't really take out Broodlords, especially if you don't have Vikings, if your Marines are all split up, you know. So it kind of seemed like the way he needed to go, and I'm not quite sure, you know, I'm not quite sure just what the idea behind it is, because, you know, like you said, TV, just a little clumsy, especially a lot of chokes, tough engagements.
Yeah.
You know, taking down a planetary, sure, you know, that worked great, but unfortunately the whole Terran base was just having a party, or a whole Terran army having a party in your base. So.
Without question. And one of the worst things about Ultralisks as well is when they actually pop out of the hatchery, they have a tendency just to die instantly before they can even get into the fight. I would have liked I would have liked to see Broodlords for one reason, simply because it would have messed with the positioning of Polt. Because he has this tendency of getting in these unbelievable positions which are extremely difficult to crack. The one thing Zerg can do against that is to actually get Broodlords out, try and push him back just a little bit so that Stranglehold doesn't come into effect. But even then, it was an incredibly well-played game by both players. You could split hairs all you want, but they're just so well matched. Yeah. And someone's going to win it, and
of course,
Polt gets the win on that one, sadly sending Symbol down the losers bracket, but he ain't gone yet.
Yeah, he's not gone yet, and he sits actually still pretty high. So let's take a look at some of the brackets now, as we are going to have Violet winning the ZVZ versus Leenock in the winner bracket final. Look at that. Polt versus Violet. We've seen that matchup before. Excuse me, this is a semifinal because it's just the top.
Right.
But still, one step closer. Winner of that will, of course, move on to the winner bracket final.
Yep, and at the lower part of the bracket, the other semifinal is going to be Hart versus Stefano. Hart coming out over Anori there. And, you know, that is going to be so sick to watch because we saw Stefano doing so good against Ryung. He is on a tear in this tournament.
Well, coming up next here on the main stream, guys, you know, we've seen here on day 2 some of our Titans fall, and today we're going to see 2 potential champions go head-to-head as DRG will face MC, and the loser will be sent home. That matchup is coming up next. We'll be casting that with Apollo. So, guys, stick around. Wolf, some amazing matches. Any final comments before we wrap?
I'm so glad I got to cast them with you. I really, really enjoyed it. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, guys, we'll be back with more. Keep it here for the MLG Spring Arena number 2. We've still got quite a bit left for the day. And then tomorrow, Championship Sunday. Stick around.